Okay, let's dive into one of the weirdest, most common feelings in modern life, that spooky sense that your phone is somehow reading your mind. You know exactly what I'm talking about, right? You're just thinking about, say, getting a new pair of hiking boots. You haven't searched for it, you haven't mentioned it to anyone, and then boom, there it is, an ad for the very style you were picturing. It feels like some kind of black magic, or maybe something a little more creepy.
But here's the thing, it's not magic, and it's not eavesdropping. The real answer is actually way more complex and honestly, way more fascinating. It's not about listening to your words, it's about translating your unspoken thoughts into cold, hard data.
So, if it's not some kind of wizardry, then how on earth is it possible? Well, this is where we get into the world of predictive algorithms. This is where your quiet little intentions are turned into a mathematical forecast of what you're going to do next. Often with, yeah, startling accuracy. The big concept powering all of this is called predictive modeling. The best way to think about it is like a weather forecast, but instead of predicting rain, it's predicting your personal desires. It takes all your past digital behavior, all that historical data, and feeds it into these powerful AIs, neural networks, to build a model of what you're likely to want next. So how does this weather forecast for desire actually work? What's going on under the hood? Well, these systems rely on a couple of incredibly clever algorithmic tools. Let's break down the two main ones. First up, you've got something called latent dirichlet allocation, or LDA for short. Now, what's really cool about this is that LDA doesn't just care about what you type into a search bar. No, it digs deeper. It sifts through everything, the articles you read, the videos you watch, the products you just glance at, to find these hidden underlying themes. It's literally connecting dots that you didn't even know existed. And the second big tool is called collaborative filtering. And this one, you've definitely seen this one in action. It's the engine behind those classic recommendations like people who bought this also bought. The system basically finds other people out there whose digital behaviors and tastes are almost spookily similar to yours. Then it just predicts that you'll probably like the same things they did. It's working on the idea that your digital tribe's desires are a pretty good map for your own. So you see, it's not random. It all follows this very clear three-step process. First, it collects just massive amounts of data. Then, these smart algorithms like LDA and collaborative filtering get to work recognizing all those hidden patterns. And finally, those patterns are used to make a prediction about your sudden urge for new hiking boots. But here's the catch. For any of these algorithms to work, they need fuel. A lot of it. And that brings us to your digital shadow, this huge invisible data trail you're leaving behind. Because the data being collected is way more personal than most of us think. It's not just about what you do online. It's about your digital body language.
We usually think our data trail is just our conscious actions, right? The things we search for, the posts we like, the stuff we buy. But the real treasure trove for these predictive models is in our subconscious signals. All these tiny little micro behaviors we do without even thinking about it.
And this is exactly what I mean. The system is tracking how long your mouse hovers over an image, how fast or slow you scroll past certain posts, the actual rhythm of your typing, and even that tiny hesitation you make just before you click on something. Every single one of these is a small clue about what's going on in your head, your interest, your hesitation, your desire. So what happens when you combine all of these data points, the conscious stuff and all that subconscious body language? You get something pretty wild, a data-driven simulation of you, a model of your personality, your habits, and your desires. This is what we call your digital twin. And this comparison just lays it all out so clearly. While you, the person, experience desire as a feeling, your digital twin sees that desire as a statistical probability. While you live here in the real world, it exists purely as a complex model that can be used to run simulations, predicting exactly how you might react to a certain ad or a new piece of content. Okay, so now they have this incredibly detailed model, your digital twin, but it doesn't just sit there on a server somewhere. No, the system uses it to go from just predicting what you want to actively shaping what you want. This is where we get to the preconscious nudge. This is what we're talking about with the preconscious nudge. The algorithm has already spotted an emerging desire, maybe before you've even fully formed the thought yourself, so it can strategically place that exact product right there in your feed. To you, it feels like a happy accident, a discovery, but really it's a carefully engineered encounter designed to take a faint signal of desire and make it feel real and urgent. And you might be thinking, come on, how much can they really tell from how long my mouse hovers over something? Well, look at this. The predictive accuracy they can get from subconscious cues, like your hover time and scroll speed, can be almost as high as the accuracy from your conscious actions, like actually searching for something. Your digital body language is basically screaming information, whether you know it or not.
So, if our subconscious actions are this easy to read, this predictable, what does that really mean for us? This brings us to the final big question. What happens when our own gut feelings can be reverse engineered by a machine? So yeah, the next time you see one of those ads that's just a little too perfect, remember what's actually happening behind the scenes. It's not just an ad. It's the end result of this huge, complex process that has mapped your subconscious tics, measured your fleeting interests, and turned your very human intuition into a predictable and very profitable mathematical equation. And that leaves us with a pretty deep question to chew on. If an algorithm can surface a desire you didn't even know you had, and seeing it is what makes that desire feel